Hey everyone, welcome to 1732 Streaming's Freedom Circuit. I'm John. So we're going to go over some new stuff today. It's been maybe a little over a week since we did our last podcast. Do me a favor if you guys don't mind before we get started, like and subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be on. And you can follow us on Rumble and YouTube at 1732 Streaming. You can also follow us on Facebook at Streaming John. We try to put up some content on there. That's where I engage with you guys. And speaking of engagement, if you guys don't mind, drop some comments on whatever platform you happen to be on, and especially Facebook. I do some engagement there, and I put up a lot of shorts on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I also upload them to Rumble, but Rumble doesn't do really well with shorts right now, so I hope they change that one day. But yeah, give us a follow and drop some comments. I'd really appreciate it. So we got a show for you today, folks. Today, we're going to go over a couple things. Let's go over the list here. Senator Mark Kelly and the Seditious Six did a short on that, so we'll definitely go over that today. X, formerly Twitter, has done this transparency thing with profiles to root out fake profiles, mainly for political content. And then the world's strongest woman is a man, ? We'll get into that too a little bit later. So let's go ahead and kick it off here real quick. Let's get started here. Let's see. Let's hit the first thing here. All right. So Senator Mark Kelly and the 5 other representatives, 6 including him, put out a video, and we're going to watch it here in a second. And I want your thoughts on this, and I'll give you my take on it too as well. So let's take a look at it here real quick. There's my show notes. All right, here we go. Cut 1.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day.
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect
First of all, I think these guys are a bunch of asshats, so let me go ahead and say that out loud. Kind of sounds like they are trying to give a message to the military. Let's listen to the rest of it.
and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
So that individual there, keep her face in mind. I'm going to talk about her after this clip.
The Army.
Our Navy.
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now,
They don't have your back. Let's be real.
more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
Our Constitution.
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship. Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Okay, so it's all right. So their message is you can refuse illegal orders. What are they talking about? Well, they're talking about the administration blowing up these boats in the Caribbean, sending troops into our cities that have high crime rates, and also where they're having peaceful protests. I'm using quotes right now. We'll get into that in a second. They're at the face of it, it sounds like they're saying, hey, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, and we have your back. First of all, let's be real. If there was a troop out there or anybody in the military refused an order, these guys aren't going to do anything about it. Sorry, they're not. These guys are just sowing hate and discontent within the administration, and they're trying to get the military to, follow their lead here. Now, I think that's absolutely stupid. If any of you guys are in the military, what do you think about that? Drop some comments. Do you think that's the right message to give or the wrong message to give? Full disclosure, I've never been in the military, so I can't speak to exactly how it is, but I've known plenty of people in my profession that have, tons of them. I would say most of them would disagree with the context of this clip. What these people are hinting at. Now, obviously, that had a bunch of controversy. It was all over social media, all over the news. President Trump was even putting out there calling them the Seditious Six. They should be prosecuted. and all that good stuff right there. And then some people are saying he's calling for their execution because he said, sedition can carry a penalty of death. Well, it does. That's a fact. So, I mean, he's stating a fact at the end of the day. These people whine for, whatever reason they want to. So, yeah, this clip right here, I think the only thing this clip is doing is pissing people off is all it's doing. They're trying to rile up, the military and get them to refuse orders from our commander in chief, who is solely in charge of the military, period. End of the day. Doesn't matter. There's if you're issued illegal orders, like truly issued illegal orders, there are routes for you to contest that, not just to refuse them in the heat of battle or in the heat of war or anything like that. Now again, I was never in the military. I can't speak to that, but any of you people that have, what would you do if you're in the middle of a situation? I'm not even going to say battle or war. Let's just say a situation. Let's say you've been deployed to one of these cities that are out of control with crime, and you get there and your buddy, in the middle of a protest that's going wrong. You know what? I'm not gonna follow these orders because they're illegal, and he walks away. Well, you've lost your buddy, and you're probably about to get your ass beat by a bunch of people surrounding you, and you don't have your backup anymore. So. Drop some comments. I really want to hear from the military folk on this one. You can drop something on Facebook if you'd like, or you can, excuse me, or you can comment on this video on whatever platform. And I'd really like to hear from you guys. Let's look at interview. So there was a follow-up interview with Senator Mark Kelly. He's the bald gentleman. Said that I think he said he was a captain in the Army. There was a follow-up interview that they put up. Seems like he's kind of backpedaling a little bit because he knows he's in trouble. As a matter of fact, Pete Hegseth put out there the Department of War is actually now investigating him for this video. And also that they might he's retired, reactivate him to face court-martial. So I approve of that. I do, at the end of the day. Now, the second interview, tell me if he can tell you, Senator Mark Kelly and these other assholes, if there's actually any illegal orders that have been given. So let's watch this video and see if he can tell us what the illegal orders are that have, created this video. So let's look at that real quick.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator,
Sorry, that's the first one.
We put out that video because I know people are really unsettled in the U.S. military. Are they crossing a line? And it is just a reminder to them that in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, it clearly states that members of the military have to follow orders, but they are
Oh, they have to follow orders.
not required. They actually are not allowed to follow illegal orders. Sometimes it can be hard for people to distinguish what is legal and what isn't. And it's really challenging.
Okay, by saying that, in the earlier video, we have your back. By saying that, it looks like he's kind of absolving himself from any liability if there's a troop out there that decides not to follow an order. And he says, well, I'm just doing what the senator said. He's kind of absolving himself from that by sitting there saying, well, it's kind of hard to decide what's illegal and what's not legal. That way he can come back and say, well, I didn't tell him he had to do that. I didn't tell him this was illegal. So they don't have your back, folks. At the end of the day, they do not have your back.
For them to navigate this, we wanted to let them know that if they have to make this kind of decision, we have their backs.
Liar.
Katie, first of all, members of the military need to comply with orders, legal orders.
It's completely different than what they were saying. I get he's saying legal orders, but the tone of this interview versus that video, totally different.
But I also, I think it's important to say that there is nothing more American than supporting the Constitution. And what that means is if somebody gets an illegal order, and that's what this video was about, and I'll tell you why we did it in a second. If somebody gets an illegal order, not only do they not have to execute that illegal order, it's in the Uniform Code of Military Justice that they can. We have a president who has sent troops into U.S. cities to go after peaceful protesters. And I'm really concerned that he's doing this for reasons to just get people comfortable with the military being there.
Okay, so I encourage you to go back and watch the entire interview. I did have to clip that for time. Full disclosure, I just got rid of fluff. I didn't get rid of anything that I consider to be substantive, but make your own opinion. Go back and watch that yourself. They didn't indicate what could possibly even be illegal. So why did they make that video other than to give chaos? You know, why did they make that video? What order are they disagreeing with? Or what order is in question? And he talks about people peacefully protesting. We're sending troops into areas where there's peaceful protests. Good news. I got some of these videos of peaceful protests for you guys to watch. Let me know how peaceful you think they are. Let's take a look here real quick. Peaceful protest. Here we go.
An illegal immigrant processing center in Broadville, Illinois. You know on Fridays, this gets hot. Let's go straight to Garrett Tenney on the ground down there, so this can turn dangerous. Garrett, I see that they are arresting some people down there. What's going on?
Yeah, we probably have at least a half dozen or so people that were arrested just in the last few minutes. And this is the regular Friday protest that we have here outside the Broadview Ice Processing Facility. A couple hundred people that are here. And what happened in the last 10 or 15 minutes, this roadway right here that leads to the ice facility, it is blocked off. They are not supposed to be standing there. But over 10 minutes or so ago, this crowd started to move into the street to try to block it off from any access going in or out. And that's when these clashes with law enforcement started, when they refused to get out to the sides of the street, these designated protest zones, and
not following the law. They have designated zones or rules. I don't know if that city has an ordinance or not. So they're trying to block ICE from doing their job, getting in the middle of the road, arguing with law enforcement, not very peaceful.
Shoving that was involved with the county sheriff, as well as state police that are out here, as well as Broadview police. You can see down here now, riot police coming down the road. And this is after a couple of weeks of mostly calm out here on Fridays. But this comes after a week of several rulings of judges where these activists out here feel empowered. They are celebrating this morning.
Look at that over there in the right-hand corner. They're all sitting there shoving now. Pretty peaceful.
These rulings that really are complicating the Trump administration's immigration enforcement here. And you can see the riot patrol that is out here now. They're coming and they're securing this area.
So peaceful they had to bring in the riot police.
That has been deployed here though previously, but tension certainly getting up here high over the last 10 or so minutes.
All right, so that's one of the clips. So that one's not too bad. I'd say law enforcement kind of had that one under control pretty well. You did see some pushing and shoving. Let's look at this one. I have another one for you guys.
Look, this motherfucker gun and
so these people were not getting out of the way of the emergency vehicle. Now, I don't know if that's ICE, government. I don't know who that is. I'm going to be honest with you. But it's obviously an emergency vehicle, red and blue lights flashing. Wouldn't get out of the way, surrounding the vehicle. That's an unsafe situation. I can tell you, being a first responder, I'm not law enforcement, but being a first responder, if people start surrounding my vehicle, not letting me move, I know that's a dangerous situation, and I've got a problem. So obviously these officers, law enforcement, whoever they are not feeling safe at the moment, and they deploy, it looks like a flashbang. Here's another one. Using his sirens to try to scare the crowd. Good move. Look at people still coming up to the vehicles after flashbangs been deployed. Peaceful, very peaceful. Yeah, so those are the peaceful. So those are the peaceful protests that they are. That senator was talking about there. So interesting, I think. So yeah, that's I don't really know what to think about that, guys. What do you think? You think that's peaceful? Doesn't look too peaceful to me. And you can go online and you can find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds upon maybe even, I'm sure, thousands of clips of these peaceful protests. And all you got to do is go look at CNN. They'll even tell you, peaceful protest. And then they'll show these people shoving, throwing things and all that good stuff at law enforcement. Peaceful. So, yeah. So that's the Seditious Six. So what do you guys think about that? Drop some comments on that. Let me know what you think. Do you think that they were right to put out that video? Do you think they're trying to just inform the military, just inform them, that they had a right to, refuse illegal orders? Or were they trying to sow discontent within our armed forces and try to turn them against the administration? What do you guys think? Drop some comments. I'd be interested to know that. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. All right, so this is actually pretty interesting now that I dabble in social media quite a bit, doing what I do here, obviously. So X, formerly Twitter, has put an algorithm in place where now if you go in and look at someone's profile, so let's say you're looking up my profile, you can see where that profile is based. So X is rolling out the about this account is what it's called feature, which shows an account's county, region, creation date, and other metadata to expose inauthentic or foreign-run accounts posing as local political voices. So that's actually pretty interesting. So what that means is if you go to Donald Trump is awesome as a page on X. If that exists, I surely didn't know. You can go on there and you can look and see if that account is based in the U.S. or is it based somewhere else in the world who might be trying to influence your beliefs, your ideas, or anything, or just using the Donald Trump name. So here I actually have some images to show you guys. Okay, folks, here is the release from X, and this is via NBC News. X head of product Nikita Baer teased the feature last month as a way to help users verify the authenticity of content that they read and limit the influence of troll farms, which often run political accounts from outside the countries they target. So, like I said, that's just to help you know as the reader what you're actually, are you listening to an American or are you listening to somebody in Uganda or whatever the case may be. And actually, funny enough, let me pull up this next image for you guys. All right, so this image here is as soon as it appeared for live viewers, X was flooded with viral posts showing that numerous high engagement MAGA branded accounts that present themselves as patriotic Americans appear to instead be based overseas, including Eastern Europe, Thailand, Nigeria, and Bangladesh. One of the examples that are given here, an account that calls itself Ultra MAGA Trump 2028, claims to be based in DC, but it is actually listed as being in Africa with that new transparency. Ultra MAGA Trump 2028. That is obviously somebody trying to sow some discontent, saying, oh, Trump's going to, run in 2028, which is against the Constitution. We know he won't do it. But that's obviously to trigger some people. And they are based in Africa. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's obviously, a psyop or something like that. At the end of the day, somebody trying to peddle their influence into our affairs, which, there's a lot of things I disagree with on Elon Musk and X and all that good stuff, but I agree with this wholeheartedly. I like the idea of where you can see this. I also went to later go read that it's funny enough, there's a lot of Democrat accounts too that have the same problem. They didn't list it in this article. It's NBC News. They're not going to be biased. They're obviously going to try to make the right look bad no matter what. If you go and actually look up, there are actually considerably more accounts that are against Trump, lean left, all that good stuff. And they are not based in the U.S. either. They're in, Eastern Europe, Uganda, weird places like that. So yeah, do your research, guys. If you happen to be on X and you're looking at this, you're looking at political posts and stuff like that, hit that button and see where these people are from. It'll even tell you how many times they've changed the name of their account or the last time that they did it. So if they are trying to change their name frequently to kind of hide, who they are, it tells you that they've changed their name multiple times. So that'll help you kind of make a decision if you should be listening to them or not. So yeah, what do you guys think about that, man? Do you have any issues with that? So one of the things that actually came up from that, funny enough, is some people are concerned about privacy. So if you look at my account, it's going to say that I'm based in the United States, and it might even say Eastern Seaboard. Heck, it might even say Virginia. I don't know. I actually haven't gone to look at my own personal account. So some people are worried that that might be a privacy issue as well. I personally don't. Even if it did say that I'm in Virginia or the Eastern Seaboard, you'd still have to, which I tell everybody I'm from Virginia, so it doesn't matter. You'd have to search pretty hard to find me, and obviously my face is on video, so you could probably find me through other social media means. So I personally don't have a problem with it, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. Do you think this is a good move, though? Do you think this will actually help? Drop some comments. Do you think this will actually help root out some of those troll accounts and some of those fake accounts that are out there trying to sow discontent within our nation? Or do you think this is a bad thing? And who do you think is likely to expose the most? Do you think it's going to expose Democrats, or do you think it's going to expose Republicans? I don't think, by and large, Republicans are going out creating fake accounts, called Donald Trump 2028. It's just my personal opinion. I have no way to back that up. So I'd be willing to bet that it's mostly going to be a left problem and not a right problem at the end of the day. So let's move on here to the next thing. So yeah, world's strongest woman is a man. Let's take a look at that here real quick. Let's see what you guys think about that. Here we go. So here, let me back that up just a little bit. I'll read that to you guys. Trans athlete Jammie Booker initially won the 2025 World's Strongest Woman in Arlington, Texas over the weekend, and I do believe that was this past weekend. Female competitor Andrea Thompson, who finished second, appeared to be unhappy with the result. The official strongman organization later announced that Booker will be disqualified, giving Thompson first place. Good. Thank God. So Paxton is in Texas, and they say that they're going to be cracking down. Attorney General Paxton will not allow the radical left to sacrifice the integrity of girls' sports on the altar of their delusional transgender agenda. Amen, brother. Go Texas. The OAG is investigating this incident and will take any and all actions to protect women's sports both in Texas and across the nation, Paxton's office said in a statement. So now I apologize. I did not pull the video clip of this man winning the competition, but you can see the second place woman, how go back and look at it yourselves. She is very displeased, not very happy, and just walks off the podium. Doesn't congratulate him or anything like that. Guys, I'm sick and tired of this. Look, I don't have a daughter. I don't have a daughter. But I think it'd be safe to say, as a father, I would have a huge problem if I had a daughter if a man was competing against her. These women put in blood, sweat, and tears to do these competitions and are getting their asses beat by biological men at the end of the day. All right? By and large, I know there are exceptions. By and large, men are stronger and faster than most women. By and large. Okay, I know some of you give me the example. Oh, well, I know this one woman who can bench 1 billion pounds. Okay, fine. There's one in however many. Take your average man and your average woman, put them in a lifting competition. The man's going to win every single time. Period. And the man probably actually doesn't have to do that much training to beat the woman, and the woman has to do a lot of training. Okay? I'm not saying women are inferior. They're not inferior in any way, shape, or form. But men are stronger. It's just a biological fact. Men should not be in women's sports ever for any reason. I don't get it. And women, this message is for you, okay? You need to police your own, okay? This is only happening because women vote for this. I can promise you men by and large do not vote to allow to have men in women's sports. They just don't, because we know the reality. We're men. We know how strong we are. We know how much we can actually hurt you guys physically. That's why we don't want women or men in women's sports. We know that we can hurt you. I mean, at the end of the day, and we don't want that. Fathers don't want that. Brothers don't want that. I would hope mothers don't want that. I don't know. Drop some comments. Any fathers and mothers out there? Are you guys experiencing this? Are you having this problem wherever you live? Are there men competing in women's sports? If they are, I hope you're speaking up. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, guys, man. I'm sorry. That's just biology at the end of the day. I do not want to see women get hurt. I don't want to see my wife get hurt. Now, I mean, she doesn't participate in any sports right now, but, if she did, let's just say that she participated in, I don't know, volleyball. She participated in volleyball and she was competing against a man. And, the man can already jump higher. He can already move faster and he can already hit the ball harder than she can. That damn ball can hit her in the face and she'd have to have a reconstructive surgery, which, by the way, that actually did happen. I mean, we showed that in a previous podcast. That happened to another woman. I mean, guys, come on, women, police your own, please. At the end of the day, I think that's one of the things that's different between the genders. As men, we hold each other accountable in general. Okay, if my friend is doing something stupid, pick a topic, doesn't matter what it is, I am very likely to tell him, hey, stop being a jackass. You're doing this wrong. And he will do the same to me. Women in general take the empathetic approach. Oh, it's okay. You did something wrong, but you do you, girl, be boss babe, whatever. I don't know, whatever. And they're not being held accountable at the end of the day. Police your own. The only reason women are getting hurt in women's sports because of men participating is because women by and large are voting for this. Okay, across demographics, you can look it up. I've seen the statistics myself. Look them up yourself. Okay, do some research. Men are not voting for this across all demographics. White, black, Hispanic, doesn't matter. They're not voting for this. Okay, at the end of the, and if you have a boyfriend or a husband that's saying yes, he is voting for that and he believes men should participate in women's sports, he's either lying because he doesn't want to get in an argument with you, or he's gay. At the end of the day, sorry, that's just what it is. Or he's gay. I mean. So, guys, get it under control. I do not want to see people get hurt. And women work really hard in those sports to get where they're at. That woman that got second place, I guarantee you she's trained her entire life, or a good chunk of it at least, and worked very hard to get there. Just to have this man, it's not a woman, man, just obliterate her. And there was actually an interview. I saw the interview where this man was like, yeah, I didn't expect to win. I didn't train that hard. Guys, there's just such a huge biological difference. This man went in there, didn't really have to train that hard, didn't expect to win, wasn't really trying to win, and beat their asses out of the water with this lifting competition. It's got to stop. And it's got to stop, guys. It's disgusting. I can't stand it. So, all right, sorry, I got a little heated over that. I mean, it's just as men, it's kind of like it's our biological response, right? We want to protect women at the end of the day. And I don't know, don't be a misogynist or anything like that. Shut up. All right, shut up. At the end of the day, I take a bullet for my wife and my kid. No questions asked. It's, it's how I am. I actually think it's a good thing. And you know what? She probably does too at the end of the day. So, which, come on, stop ignoring biology. Biological truths are what are truths. It's in the name. Biological truth. It's there. Biological fact. Oh, sorry, I got a little heated there, guys. All right, well, that's about it for our show today. Do me a favor. What do you guys think about that? Sorry, like I said, I got a little heated there. I got a little upset about that. Drop some comments. Did I get a little overboard there, or was I on target? Let me know what you think. And if you agree or not, should men be able to participate in women's sports? I could go on about that all day long. And also, if you don't mind, guys, oops, sorry, wrong button there. And also, if you don't mind, subscribe. I have lots of people watching my videos, but I don't have anybody actually subscribing to my content. Do me a favor. It really helps me out as a content creator. The more subscribers I get, the more that I can actually offer you guys as far as content, live streams, and stuff like that. If you're on Rumble, hit that. I think it's the thumbs up button or the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, follow. If you're on Facebook, follow me. I really would appreciate it. Instagram as well. I get a lot of viewers on Instagram. Yeah, but give me a follow, guys. I really would appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow this platform for you guys. I'm actually kind of working some things right now. I'm trying to see if I can start doing maybe some non-political interviews. I actually have some topics I'd like to talk about, and I have some people in my own family, an extended family that might be experts in this certain topics, and I actually want to see if they'd be willing to interview me non-political. I actually want to get some facts out there. Would you like to see something like that? Particularly, I'd like to talk about biological and nuclear defense, and there's one individual that I think would be very good at that topic. I'm not going to say his name unless he agrees. But yeah, drop some comments if you'd like to see something like that, and I'll see if I can convince him to come on the show and talk about it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to follow at 1732 Streaming on Rumble and on YouTube, and Streaming John on Facebook. Keep your head on a swivel, stay safe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.